The Pulse nightclub was not Orlando's most crowded venue that deadly Saturday night, but it was full, a popular go-to spot for the city's LGBT population, which may explain why it was struck. At vigils across the country, including this one in Washington, many expressed solidarity and outrage.
There has to be anger on some level. Some are not willing to acknowledge that there's been violence that's been committed against a very specific part of the American population. It seems amazing to me in this day and age that something like this could happen.
Violence against the LGBT community didn't start in Orlando and likely won't end there. Nearly 50 years ago, police in New York raided the Stonewall Bar, beating the gay men who had gathered inside and helping ignite the gay rights movement in the U.S. A few years later in New Orleans, an arsonist set fire to a gay bar, killing 32 people inside. Some local churches refused to bury the victims. Attacks on various scales continued for years. And just 2 years ago, on New Year's Eve, an arsonist in Seattle set fire to the steps of a club hosting more than 700 people, many of them local LGBT leaders. The fire was quickly put out, and no one was injured. There have also been countless attacks on individuals. Harvey Milk was San Francisco's first openly gay city councilman. In 1978, he was gunned down by a colleague, whose light prison sentence prompted these riots 1 year later. And in 1998, Matthew Shepard, the 21-year-old Wyoming student, was beaten, then hanged on a fence in an open field and left to die.
Amongst all of the terror, amongst all of the fighting, we're still going to just love each other and the people who try to stop that love.
According to the FBI, LGBTs are now more likely to be targets of hate crimes than any other minority group in the U.S. The real number, some analysts say, may be even higher because many in the closet LGBT people fear reporting attacks, or because police often fail to pass along that information to federal authorities.
This isn't new. This isn't a new opinion.
This isn't the future of thinking.
Can't let it be the future of thinking.
This isn't new.
I don't know if you've been watching the news the past 500 years.
Before then.
Since Genesis.
This isn't new. This isn't a virus that has surfaced over a year.
This is a disease rooted deep in our bloodstream.
This is mold on the fundamentals of what we are.
Get your fingers out of your ears.
Your hands away from your eyes.
The tape from your mouths.
And look! Look at me.
Look at us.
Look at yourself.
What are you doing about it?
Are you doing anything about it? Am I doing enough?
Am I enough?
Is my safety not guaranteed?
Can you hear that thunder?
The sound of strength and numbers.
Look at me.
Look at us.
Look! This isn't new. Yet it is only the beginning.
Oh, hi. Usually I need to pay to see a wet naked man on my screen.
I'm just at the shower. What's up?
We said we'd all get ready together.
Did we?
Well, I said we'd all get ready together and no one said no.
Does that mean everyone's coming on?
I mean, that's usually what all means.
Cool.
What?
It's nothing. I just forgot this was happening.
I mean, do you not want to?
No, it's not that.
You'll be seeing us in a couple hours anyway.
I know.
Well, what is it then?
It's just... I can't really be fun. It's gotta be fun.
Oh, am I interrupting?
No, you're not interrupting anything.
You sounded a bit too disgusted there, Andrew.
Sorry.
You'd be a lucky boy to get with someone like this.
Yeah, you'd be added to the long list of lucky boys.
Rude!
Where's everyone else?
I mean, they'll be on soon, I think. I just got here.
Hi.
Speak of the devil.
Fuck, what were you saying just now?
He was bitching about yous.
Oh, really?
No, not you, just Emma.
I'm expecting nothing less from you.
Andrew, are you naked?
Yes, I forgot this was happening.
I mean, we can't say we're complaining.
What kind of night do you think this is going to be?
Alright, very funny.
Andrew, your camera's on.
I know, Ellie!
Hi, sorry I'm late.
We'll forgive you just this once.
Jess, are you alright?
Yeah? How come?
Your eyes all scratched up.
Fuck. Yeah, it's nothing.
Is it pink eye? I've been there.
Okay, we're visiting that at some point, Ellie.
It's not pink eye. I just tripped on the way back from Anna's. She says hi, by the way.
You tripped?
Yeah. Honest. That's it. Andrew, are you naked? I think when people heard about Pulse, it was really like someone had pulled back this curtain and went,
"This shit fucking happens. You can't look away anymore. It's here. It's right in front of you."
People will spend years and years ignoring something because it doesn't apply to them.
And this was something you couldn't not look at.
This was impossible to ignore.
This was a devastation that echoed around the world.
A call to arms.
but not only was it that, it was a question.
A question screamed by thousands.
"You seriously think we're safe? Look at this building. Look at these bodies. Do we look safe to you?"
These places are built because there is no place for the community to coexist in club culture without some form of threat.
And then they're burnt down.
Shot up.
Raided.
Violated.
Eliminated.
When I saw everyone talking about how unprecedented this was, how unexpected, I just wanted to grab them and shake them and just shout.
This isn't new.
Have you ever been to Pride?
Loads of times.
I can't say I remember most of them, but I've got photos.
I've never been, it looks so fun.
It's just the crowds that freak me out.
Same.
Andrew, have you ever been?
Nah, I didn't really think it was for me.
What do you mean?
It's for everyone.
Most of my straight friends go to Pride.
Pride, not just for the gays.
Maybe next year.
Do you feel safe when you go to Pride? Bit heavy, Bailey.
As safe as I can be.
There's safety in numbers.
In the company of the people you trust.
Invisibility?
Not always. Did you see the thing about Poland Pride?
It's horrible.
What happened in Poland?
There were loads of people protesting it. Assaulting the marchers and everything. They were throwing eggs.
Stones.
Bricks.
Fireworks.
There were hundreds of marchers, but there was thousands of people there threatening their safety.
Oh, why?
A few reasons.
None of them justified, mind you.
Mainly politics.
Outdated viewpoints.
People insecure in their own identities to the point they feel the need to tear others down.
People that are literally scared of us.
But surely that was ages ago. And surely things have changed by now. We continued along the street towards the square where the march was supposed to start. We're met by these people running away from the march, terrified, telling us that it's been hit. We see gangs of thugs 10 meters ahead of us attacking people. A large man in a red balaclava can be seen kicking everyone in sight, including some teenage girls, with the full weight of his body.
We take refuge in a pharmacy. The staff are horrified, and there's a frightened girl of about 10 with her mother.
"Do something, Mummy!"
She wails.
"Get me out of here, I'm scared."
Moments later, a trembling teenage girl rushes in with what's left of her ripped handbag hanging from her shoulder. She calls out to her friend whom she was marching, but he was attacked and they've lost phone contact. I try to reassure her, I do up the shoulder strap of her dungarees, and we make sure none of her things are lost because she had to pick them up off the pavement and put them back in her bag.
Thugs run past the window, one of them carrying a burning rainbow flag. There are clouds of smoke. My friend thinks they've set fire to a car, but these are smoke bombs. When things start to calm down, we stand in the doorway and look around to see what we should do.
After hiding behind some police cars, we reached the square. I was supposed to be making a speech at the opening, but it's out of the question. This is like a riot. Underneath a monument on the far side of the square there are hooligans with flags, and in the centre there's the rather inconspicuous parade with its rainbow flags. There's a stink of rotten eggs and lots of abusive shouting. The police cordon isn't tight, so there are big gaps near us, and now and then hoodlums lunge at the marchers, ripping their placards to pieces and threatening to beat them up.
Most of all they bellow, insult after insult, some in gangs, others individually, some with their own crazy monologues, and everywhere there are hands showing the finger, lots and lots of that middle finger to say,
"Fuck you, faggots."
They are chanting,
"Fags out," which is also written on their t-shirts.
I'm trying to understand it all.
All this fury.
All this gutter filth.
This big guy grabs me when we're in the march itself, fully grabs me as if I'm his.
I don't even think.
Before I spit.
In his fucking face.
And say,
"Touch me again, and I will fucking kill you."
Do you think that we're privileged?
What do you mean?
like posh.
Yeah, sort of.
I think you're posh.
I prefer the term regal.
Posh Josh.
Josh isn't posh, he's a slut.
You could be a posh slut.
I prefer the term charitable organisation.
You're hardly comic relief, mate.
I provide a different kind of relief.
Oh, Josh, gross.
What? They started it!
Tell us what you mean then.
I mean, like, as queer people, or mostly queer people living in the UK, do you think we're privileged?
I mean, I think it depends how you look at it.
Yeah. A privilege would be to be able to go to any country in the world and not worry about getting the death penalty.
But then do you not think it's a privilege to just not live in those countries?
I guess in some way, yeah.
But no place is perfect.
No, of course.
This country has just as much blood in its hands as anywhere else.
Just less guns.
And not a dictator in power.
Only because he's too stupid to know how to be a dictator.
Still hates us, just quietly.
How do you know that though?
Labour's appalling agenda includes the education of homosexuality in our schools.
2000. If gay marriage was okay, I see no reason in principle why a union should not be consecrated between 3 men and a dog. 2001.
They are all tank-top bum boys, the lot of them. 1998.
Josh.
What?
What the fuck was that?
What?
Was that your Bojo impression?
I am gifted in other ways. Fuck off.
But like, it's hard to feel safe, let alone privileged, in a country where people in charge say things like that. No matter how long ago it was. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe he doesn't have that attitude anymore?
Then why is conversion therapy still legal in this country? Why did his party vote against educating children about people like me, something that would stop people like me being bullied and isolated in school? I don't care what he says or hasn't said, their actions have not improved, we are still kicked to the side.
Okay, go easy on him.
I was just asking a question.
Sorry.
Jess, what's going on?
Nothing. Sorry.
Is everything okay with Anna?
Everything's fine.
This place had a reputation of letting the good times roll.
Anything goes.
You can do what you want.
There was a wide variety of bars here at this time.
No matter what your taste was, whatever you were into, you could find it.
There had always been gay lesbian, trans people, non-binary people living here.
We just learn to keep ourselves secret.
This city has a famous reputation of being a live and let live culture.
This is where queer people run away to.
This is where people came to be free.
This is the best place in the fucking world.
No matter how progressive anywhere seems, no one can be fully honest in every context.
This is where people came to be themselves.
You couldn't be out at work.
You couldn't be out in general.
You could be fired.
Evicted.
Put in a mental asylum.
The only place we can really be ourselves is right fucking here.
Our bars.
Our dance floors.
Our safe houses.
Barely any of us carried IDs because we knew that at any point the police could raid the bar and take our names from us. If they wanted to, they could arrest us. Or beat us. For no reason.
The upstairs lounge.
The safest house for queer people in the city.
Doctors, lawyers, working class people, teachers.
All coming here to be themselves.
You'd ring a buzzer on the side of the door and the bartender would come and get you.
And everyone would cheer when someone entered the bar because someone was being themselves that night.
You'd be in it together, whether you wanted to be or not.
A bar, a theatre, a cinema.
The upstairs lounge was everything.
There was a night that was crowded because you could have 2 hours of bottomless drinks for $1.
Everyone was dancing, having the time of their lives.
When this guy walks in, people know him, but they wish they didn't.
Everything stops. The music stops, the laughter stops, the talking stops, and the lights come on.
We were stripped of the safety we felt in the darkness.
He was upset. And angry. And drunk.
He was almost immediately thrown out.
As the bar staff wrestled him out the venue, the last thing he said was,
I am going to burn this place to the ground.
Alright, let's have a good time. Nothing to worry about.
Lights off.
Music on.
We are safe again.
We are happy again.
Hours pass and everything is fine.
It gets late into the night.
All of a sudden I see this bright glow coming from the doorway.
I start seeing flames.
It spreads across the bar.
Lights still off.
Music still on.
I'm surrounded. I'm looking at all these flames swirling all around me. I didn't know where to go because I couldn't see anything. The smoke was in my eyes, in my throat.
The bartender's grabbing people and hustling them out the back door, with only the people who aren't surrounded.
He's saving dozens of people, but he can't get to me. I'm completely surrounded.
I see lifeless bodies being cremated in front of me.
I see my skin falling off my body.
Melting.
I remember thinking,
I cannot fucking die like this.
I cannot let them win.
I run through the flames and reach the back door. The bartender grabs me and pushes me out onto a roof, from where I need to jump down 20 feet to reach the ground.
I do, breaking my ankle in the process.
I am barely alive.
I literally feel myself fading away.
I'm attended to. They sit me down and treat me for my burns, my wounds.
As I watch the place I love so dearly go down in flames.
The best place in the fucking world.
Charred bodies hanging out of the broken windows.
I shook that man's hand that night.
And now he's hanging out a hole in the wall scorched, because he dared to be himself that night.
I see the walls fall down.
The roof cave in.
Our place of sanctuary.
Of peace.
Of happiness.
Our safe house destroyed.
A reminder that we can build as many houses as we want, but we will never build a home.
Jess, is that a Harry Styles poster?
Of course.
He is so stunning. It makes me angry how stunning he is.
I'm gay as anything, and I fancy him.
I remember when he was on X Factor when I was like 12 and just thinking, fuck.
Was he what made you realise you were gay?
Probably one of them. Who was it for you?
Miley fucking Cyrus.
That's a good one.
Every day of the week.
Post Hannah Montana or during?
I had a poster of her just after Hannah Montana that I kissed every night before bed. This was years before I realised I was gay.
When I was like 4 years old, I was in love with the girl that plays Matilda.
Thank God you said you were 4 years old.
Mine is almost definitely Blair from Glee.
Oh my god, Santana from Glee.
The whole cast of Glee were unreal.
If you watched Glee as a kid, you're probably gay now.
I always thought Mr. Shu from Glee was hot.
Ooh, Ellie.
Absolutely not.
What?
I mean, Mr. Shu's a war criminal, but apart from that, Glee was a work of art.
Shame pretty much everyone from it is a terrible person.
Or dead.
Or both.
Pretty much anyone from Victorious for me.
How could you be homophobic and then let your child watch Victorious? That's like putting fire out with gasoline.
Anything with Ariana Grande in it is automatically gay. It's just a fact.
Oh, also Brock from Pokemon.
Yes, Brock.
Brock from Pokemon?
Yeah?
But he's a cartoon.
A sexy cartoon.
Ugh.
Please never trade me your Pokemon cards.
Okay, Andrew, what about you? It can be a woman. It doesn't have to be a gay crush. Don't worry.
Alright. Anne Robinson?
No, Andrew, seriously.
What?
Like, weakest link, Anne Robinson.
Yeah, I don't know.
He likes a woman who takes charge.
Nice.
I just looked up her age. Andrew, she's 76.
She wasn't when I was a kid, was she?
Yeah, but she would have been about 60 odd though.
Can you fuck off or I'll go off this?
Andrew, come on, don't leave.
Please don't say, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oops.
Honestly, what is with him tonight?
I don't know. I'll go check on him.
Don't get him naked again though. You're supposed to be getting ready.
No promises.
Is this okay here? Three bombs, each one targeting a different minority group. The first one was set off in a black community. The second was set off in a Bangladeshi community. And the third and final one was set off in the Admiral Duncan Gay Bar in Soho. One of the most well-known safe spaces for queer people.
I remember it was warm, sunny. The bank holidays were coming up, so everyone was excited about finishing work, getting out into Soho. It was always a lot of fun in Soho in the bank holidays because it was guaranteed that everywhere would be packed. David was a partner of mine for a couple years. But we'd split up but stayed as friends for the past few years. And Andrea worked for me at the time, so we'd sort of all just become friends. It was the 30th of April 1999 at the Admiral Duncan. And we were celebrating the upcoming birth of Andrea's baby. Someone planted a bomb at David's feet. It was a rucksack filled to the brim with explosives. The last thing I remember was kissing David. It was the first time we'd kissed since we split.
This was not a random attack. This was an attack on a specific community. This was an attack on a community that I am part of. Amongst the broken shards of that pub were broken people. Some beyond repair. Limbs missing, people bleeding out, holding their dead loved ones in their arms. This was more than an explosion. This was an infiltration. This was a sanctuary under siege. The detective said it was a sort of head in hands moment.
They'd been anonymously tipped that this bar was the next target, but they didn't believe them. And it turned out to be the most devastating out of the 3 attacks.
A nail bomb is a deadly weapon. They're not designed to make an explosion that is a political statement. They're designed to kill people. This attack was designed to kill the people in that bar.
I woke up in hospital, hooked up to machines that were effectively replacing my blood as it left me. And my memory started coming back as I looked around the room, recognizing people who had been in the bar that night, recovering from near-fatal wounds. But I never saw Andrea, and I never saw David. Someone had come to tell me that they had both died. The 2 people that were closest to me had been taken away by this absolute monster. And even a baby that hadn't even been born yet. And somehow, I was alive. 2 of the brightest lights in my life had been extinguished. But I was still here. I am still here. I resented the fact that I survived for years, to the point where I tried to take my own life because of the guilt. None of David's family went to recognize the body because they had all separated themselves. So I had to do it. And the only thing left to recognize him from was one eye. Because the rest of his body had been utterly destroyed. I had to be picked up off the floor when I saw it, because that was David's eye. There was love and light and hope in that eye, because that was David's eye. Sorry, can I take a second? I just wished I could be kissing him again, that I could hold him and never let him go, that I hadn't wasted the time we'd spent apart, because if I knew that that was how it was going to end, then I would have never spent a second apart. I couldn't function for weeks. I had to pull over when I was driving because I couldn't see over the insurmountable grief that I was feeling.
The man who planted the bomb was 22 years old. He was basically still a fucking child. And they found his flat that he lived in. They found his room, littered with Nazi memorabilia and hateful propaganda, and photos of his victims. A photo of a black man who had lost an ear. A photo of a Bangladeshi woman running with a baby in her arms.
A photo of David. A photo of him lying on the ground, bleeding out, moments from death.
On his wall, like a trophy. A souvenir of his life-ruining rampage.
When I saw that photo, I vowed that I would never let it get the best of me. That I would never let this awful, awful man win again. I vowed that I would rise above and live even more unapologetically than before. For Andrea. For her child. That would have been the most loved person. For David. It's 2017. I hadn't been to Pride since the attack because of the trauma and my physical circumstances. It's been 18 years since the attack. Since I lost David. It's been 1 year since something so similar happened in Florida. I owe it to myself to show solidarity with people like me. I owe it to the community that helped get me through. I owe it to Andrea and to David.
This hasn't stopped.
And it won't. Not unless we all actively stand against it. We all have to take a stand. And I don't plan on sitting down anytime soon.
I'm worried about tonight.
Why?
Just nervous.
Oh, you don't need to be nervous.
We'll be together the whole time.
I know. I just feel like the more I drink, the less I'll be aware of the people around me and what they could do. But the less I drink, the more anxious I'll be about the people around me.
I totally get what you mean.
But fuck. I just miss dancing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, oh my god.
Like, usually I'd say no to a club. I'd find any way to avoid going on a night out. Or I'll go to prees, but I'll never go to the club. But honestly, it's been too fucking long. I just need to get out. I just need to dance.
I promise you and Anna will get to dance.
Yeah.
What?
I don't think Anna's coming tonight. And I'm not usually out in clubs anyway.
Yes, you are. You're out, so you're out in clubs.
Yeah, I mean, in the best way possible. You're like the gayest person I know.
I know, but I never feel comfortable kissing girls in public or even dancing with them. I just feel eyes on me all the time.
I mean, I feel like every girl feels that as well.
Definitely.
No, I know. I'm not trying to take that away from anyone. It's just... I feel like they're watching me, waiting for me to be different.
What do you mean?
What is normal? What is different? And who are they to decide if I'm one or the other? I don't know, I just feel disregarded in a way. My identity means nothing to them if I'm not a potential target. I just want to feel safe. Fuck, I want to dance, I want to get wasted and have a good time. But I can literally feel them now, watching me, narrowing me down to something they can understand. And I'm just so scared, because what if I can't find any of yous? What if I don't know where any of yous are? I just want to feel safe and have a good time, because I never get to have a good time.
I promise we'll have a good time.
We won't let anything happen to you.
We'll make our own club.
And if anyone tries anything, I'll kick their cunt in.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I really don't feel like having the piss taken out of me right now, Josh.
Listen, if Anne Robinson is your sexual preference, no one gets to take that away from you.
What did I literally just say?
Okay, sorry. Look, I just came to see if you were okay, but visual clues are already answering that for me.
What do you want?
I want to know what's going on.
It's nothing. Just got a lot on my mind.
Do you want to talk about it? Or do you want to keep this quiet, broody look? Because it's kind of working for you.
Did you lose people?
What?
When you came out, did you lose people?
I mean, the people I lost weren't worth keeping, so...
Were people disappointed?
Why would they be disappointed?
I don't know, maybe you can do the whole dad thing and they see you differently.
Firstly, I could still do the dad thing if I didn't find babies repulsive. And secondly, the only difference people were seeing was literally just joy. When I came out, everything made sense. Everything fell into place.
Like a jigsaw puzzle.
Ew, no. Look, is there something you want to tell me?
No, I just need a minute.
Andrew, we're literally all here, whenever you need.
I know, I just need a minute. I've got so much on my mind. I'll come back soon, actually, in a second.
Okay. That's fine. I'll see you in a sec.
See you in a bit.
Oh, also, never storm out like that again. Being a dramatic bitch is kind of my thing.
I'm well aware.
See you in a minute.
See ya.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a survivor. That I'm hard done by, that I overcame something so much bigger than me. I credit myself for what happens to me, good or bad. I grew up in a devout Catholic household with an abusive father and terrified mother, made to believe I was disgusting and shameful by about the age of 7 years old. I was bullied in school for not wanting to be girly and for being too quiet. I came out at 15. I was kicked out the house with one rucksack of clothes. The girl I was seeing at the time said she'd run away with me if I got kicked out. Spoiler alert, she fucking didn't. When I told her I'd been kicked out, she gave me all this backpedaling bullshit, you know, babe, I can't just drop everything for you. I have a life. I have a reputation to uphold. Like, I didn't have a reputation. Like, I didn't matter at this point. I was just a neglected dyke in a small town. I was worth the shit on the sole of my shoe. I became homeless. I became a sex worker at 16 as well as an alcoholic. Like, I could barely remember most of that year. I was sober for so little of it. I was fucked in every single way. You get it? Like, fucked. You get it. While I'm working, I meet Margaret. She tells me to call her Ma. She helps me through everything. My addiction, my homelessness, everything. She went through the same things but came out clean on the other end. Said she still does sex work because if you know yourself and you're sure of your body, why not use it how you want? I credit myself for my achievements, for everything that I've got through. I'm not a survivor, but I also credit Ma. She saw me as this little puddle on the pavement and she rebuilt me. She took me to my first gay bar, the Other Side Lounge. It's a fucking dive. She got me a fake ID. The girl in the picture was Asian and I'm white as fucking snow, but I assumed the guy just thought I was there with my mum. Cut to 1997. I'm 18. Ma still kept in touch, but I'm back on my feet again, sober, living with a friend working in a video store. I spoke to Ma. She said she was so proud of me, of the woman that I'd become. She said that she was so happy that I was okay. She said she saw me as a daughter. I said I saw her as mum. I told her she was mum to me. But a week later I hear about a bomb going off at the Other Side Lounge. The bar that Ma took me to. The bar that Ma was at that night with her partner. They were both caught in the explosion. There was another bomb planted outside the club that never went off, thank God. It's like they were trying to ensure that no one would make it out alive. This isn't a fucking sob story, okay? It's not. It's a happy story. No. It's not. It's not a fucking happy story. A happy story would be this never happening. But this specific story doesn't have a bad ending. Ma didn't die. Neither did her partner. No one got killed. One of Ma's legs got absolutely fucked and had to be amputated. She ended up in a wheelchair. I didn't even think twice before I handed in my notice at work and moved in with her and her partner to look after them. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Ma. I couldn't just let her suffer on her own. I even went to court with them when they caught the guy that set off the bombs. 6 bombs in total, all to target women in one way or another. Right-wing asshole. You know, they caught him in 1998. And he was charged in 2005. What took them so long? It's fucking ridiculous. On the day he got sentenced, Ma, her partner, and I went out for dinner. Got absolutely hammered. There was this guy staring at us from across the room. We were laughing, cheering, we were truly happy. He came over and slammed on our table. "You're filthy dykes, the lot of you. Do you know that?" Ma turned to him. "I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm a survivor. A survivor is someone who fell off the ship without a life jacket. I had a life jacket. Ma was my life jacket. In the grand scheme of things, I'm one of the luckiest motherfuckers on this planet." Andrew,
Sorry?
are you alright? You're quiet.
Yeah, I was just really deep in thought, sorry.
Okay. Never have I ever pulled more than one person in one night.
Is that bad?
Couldn't tell you any of their names, mind.
Jesus, you're all sluts.
You say that like it wasn't already common knowledge.
Okay, someone else go.
Never have I ever told someone to get them to buy you a drink.
Cheap sluts and all.
I prefer economical.
Drinks are like £1.
Not everywhere.
The Tory clubs.
I once paid a tenner for a vodka coke.
You could press charges for that, like.
That's actually disgusting.
Tory club behaviour.
Andrew, you do one.
Alright, what?
It's your turn.
Alright, truth.
Andrew, are you on something? Seriously?
No, of course not.
We're playing Never Have I Ever.
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
Shy bag.
Never have I ever shat in a club.
Shat in a club.
Yeah.
Like on the floor.
No, like shat in a club.
Like in the toilet?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh.
No way.
Why is that so shocking to you?
Because it's minging.
How is it minging?
The thought of taking a shit in a club gives me the absolute fear.
There is a lot of worse things you can do in a club toilet, let me tell you.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Andrew, what do you do if you need to take a shit in a club?
Hold it.
Say you can't hold it. Say you're touching cloth.
Then I leave, I go home.
You go home.
Yeah?
That's ridiculous.
Well, you're not going home early tonight.
Well, nobody let me eat dairy and we should be fine.
300 sweating people crammed into this tiny room.
And everyone wanting to be there.
2:02 a.m. The bartender announced the last call.
We were all dancing as if the night was never going to end.
I held my boyfriend so tight.
I remember shouting,
I'm never going home!
2:05 a.m. The first shots are fired.
But we couldn't hear anything.
I could smell the ammunition in the air.
I could smell fire.
Before I heard gunfire, I heard screams.
Apparently you could hear the gunfire from outside.
But nothing inside.
My friend comes over to me, covered in blood, and I ask her what happened.
I've been shot, we need to go.
There were people climbing over one another to get out.
Standing on my face.
Pushing me back.
There is no community when fear has infiltrated.
Only survival.
2:08 a.m. Pulse posts on Facebook. Everyone get out of Pulse and keep running.
About 20 people were forced into one toilet cubicle by the gunman.
He'd shoot us through the doorway whenever we screamed for help.
2:10 a.m. I texted my mum saying, "Call please. I'm going to die."
The killer calls 911 in the bathroom, pledging allegiance to ISIS.
3:15 a.m. Police set off an explosion on one side of the wall.
We have no idea what's going on.
4:42 a.m. 11 police officers in a shootout with a man we were standing in the same room with.
4:45 a.m. The gunman falls to the floor, and there's a moment of silence.
Of hesitation.
A combination of soaring relief, but crushing defeat.
The hours that followed, the world was marked by this story.
You couldn't escape from it for days, weeks.
The biggest shooting in US history.
The 15th mass shooting in America since 2008.
But no one wanted to talk about the fact that this was a place for queer people.
The single biggest attack on our community in centuries.
I watched my boyfriend die of suffocation. He lost his life waiting in that cubicle for the police to arrive. I spent an hour next to the love of my life's dead body, unable to move him, close his eyes. I couldn't move.
Dozens of us pretended to be dead for 3 hours.
This was a direct attack.
This was a level of fear the community had forgotten.
That young members of the community had never known before.
A reminder that past prejudices still live under the surface and can strike us down at any time.
And these people live in our heads.
Every time something happens, where someone infiltrates a place where we were supposed to feel safe.
They infiltrate us as people, tear us apart from the inside.
We just want to sleep.
Eat.
Laugh.
Love each other.
Breathe.
When are you going to let us do that?
How many more of us have to die before you accept that we exist?
How many times will you try to redefine the word safe to fit your agenda?
How many times will we ask for better?
How many times will we ask for a shred of respect?
Before we finally feel safe.
Jess, you don't have to put that on.
Yeah, I do.
But if it hurts.
It doesn't hurt.
But if it makes you uncomfortable...
It's not making me fucking uncomfortable, okay? Just leave it.
Jess.
Seriously, can you just leave me alone for a second? Christ.
Jess, what's going on with you?
Oh my god, Josh. Can you get your nose out my arse for 2 minutes?
We're just trying to see if you're okay.
And I keep telling you that I'm fine and you're not believing me.
We're here if you need to talk.
I got jumped on the way back from Anna's.
What?
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
It's not a big deal. Please.
Not a big deal. What happened?
We were walking along the road. And there's these guys walking the opposite direction to us. We were holding hands. And these guys started taking pictures and shouting things at us, telling us to kiss each other. We ignored them, but when we passed them, they started following us, picking up the pace whenever we did. They just kept taking pictures and shouting things at us. Then I got really overwhelmed. Angry. I turned round and squared up to one of them. Anna was trying to pull me back by my arm, but I was just seeing red. One of them pushes me and I immediately fall. I smack my head off the ground. I just tell Anna to run. She refuses at first. So I get angry at her. I tell her to stop being fucking stupid and to just run. They literally just hold me there. They don't hit me or anything. They just hold me and shout things in my face. Then they get up, spit on me and leave.
Jess, we didn't have to do anything tonight.
Yes, we do.
If you told us when you came on...
I didn't want to tell yous. This was supposed to be a good night, an actual important night. We've not been out in fucking ages. I thought things were going to be different. More open, more accepting. This was a time for things to start over. A fresh attitude. The night hadn't even started yet and I was reminded that I don't fucking fit in. I never have. It's possible that I never will. Those boys didn't know me. But they hated me. Resented me. And they had the power to hold me down until I felt completely powerless. That's what happened before. I was just hoping that maybe the world had reset somehow. That people just wouldn't be like that anymore. No matter how many steps forward we take, we will always be miles behind everyone else.
I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Please don't be. I didn't let these things bother me before. I'm not about to let them bother me now.
Are you sure you want to go out tonight, Jess?
We really don't have to.
I'm so sure. I'm not shutting up just because someone didn't like the sound of my voice. I'm gonna fucking scream tonight, so loud, seek no permission, offer no apology.
Love you, Jess.
Love you.
We're here for you.
You're amazing.
You sure you're okay though?
Yeah. Sure. It's just...
Tough.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Really fucking tough.
Definitely closer.
Harry Potter. That's the character that made me realise. Harry Potter. I remember I was around 8 when the last book came out, and it seemed like he was dead, and I just couldn't stop crying. Not because I gave a fuck about Hogwarts. I was so in love with this character. And I don't want to put label on this. Not now, anyway.
The anger and frustration that some of us feel is because we're misunderstood.
And friends can't feel that anger and frustration.
They can sense it in us, but they can't feel it.
Because a friend has never gone through what is known as coming out.
Coming out is the bravest and most political thing that you can do.
I will never forget what it was like coming out and having no one to look up toward.
I remember the lack of hope, and our friends can't fulfill it.
I can't forget the look on the faces of people who have lost hope.
Be they gay.
Be they seniors.
Be they people of colour.
I personally will never forget that people are more important than buildings.
It takes no compromise to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual. It takes no survey to remove the repression.
After Dade County, I walked among the angry and frustrated night after night.
And I looked at their faces.
And in San Francisco, 3 days before Gay Pride, a person was killed just because he was gay.
And that night I walked among the sad and frustrated in City Hall in San Francisco.
Later that night, as they lit candles on Castro Street and stood in silence, reaching out for some symbolic thing that would give them hope.
These were strong people, whose faces I knew from the shops, the streets, meetings, and people I'd never seen before. But I knew.
They were strong, but even they needed help.
Hope is being able to see the light in spite of all the darkness.
And hope will never be silent.
Rights are only won by those who make their voices heard.
I know that you cannot live on hope alone.
But without it, life is not worth living.
I cannot prevent anyone from getting angry or mad or frustrated.
I can only hope that they'll turn that anger and frustration and madness into something positive.
So that 2, 3, 4, 500 will step forward.
So the gay doctors will come out.
The gay lawyers.
The gay judges.
Gay bankers.
Gay architects.
I hope that every professional gay person will say,
Enough!
Come forward and tell everybody.
Wear a sign.
Let the world know.
Maybe that will help.
Burst down those closet doors once and for all and stand up and start to fight.
And if a bullet should enter my brain, let that bullet destroy every closet door.
Well, looks like we have a lot to toast tonight.
Absolutely.
Firstly, to the first night out in what feels like a lifetime.
The hope that the time away has given us time to reflect.
To change. To grow.
To all of the shit we have to put up with every day, but still manage to persevere. Every time.
The shit that makes us who we are.
The strength it gives us.
And of course, to the newest member of our community.
Alright, it's not that big a deal.
It is a big deal, and we love you. And I can't wait for us to make passionate love tonight.
Oh,
there it is.
Why did you have to ruin it?
Okay. In all seriousness, we are so proud of you. Regardless of what anyone else says, you'll always have us. Cheers.
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 Can we go and dance now, please?
Yes, please, now. It's enough sappy shout for one night.
Ali and Emma, I can pick yous up on the way. I'm getting a lift in.
Perfect. I'll wait downstairs.
See you soon.
Jess, I can walk with you if you want. I don't mind getting the bus to yours.
are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
That'd be great. Thank you.
See you guys there, okay?
See you later.
And then there were two.
I can meet you along the way if you want.
Sure. Sounds good. I'm so proud of you.
Me too.
Okay, so I'll see you at mine in 20.
Sure.
Okay, see you then.
Okay. Wait, where are we even going again?
Oh, some new place. It's called SafeHouse or something.
Okay. No idea what that is.
I'm sure we'll find it.
Okay.
In the early morning hours of June 28th, 1969, a riot broke out in front of Stonewall Inn in New York City.
This historic movement would later be called the Stonewall Riots.
In the 1950s and 60s, homosexuality was still considered sodomy and was illegal in 49 out of 50 states.
The punishments ranged from heavy fines to imprisonment.
New York City gay bars were a haven for the community, specifically the Stonewall Inn.
The Stonewall Inn was owned by the mafia, who bribed the police to look the other way and then overcharge queer patrons for their drinks.
They would threaten wealthier patrons for money, saying that they would out them to their friends and families.
But for the most part, this was the original safe haven.
Despite the deal the inn had with law enforcement, the police would still raid the inn very often,
Arresting people for solicitation of homosexual activity.
Arresting trans people if they weren't wearing one article of clothing they deemed to be belonging to their biological sex.
On June 28th, 1969, the patrons refused to be arrested.
The public outside the bar, witnessing this mistreatment, began to protest, growing into a riot.
They threw bottles and coins at the police.
The police responded by pushing out all of the patrons onto the street and locking themselves in the bar.
The patrons then set the bar on fire.
The mob turned from hundreds to thousands.
Thousands of people refusing to abide by a law that oppressed them so aggressively.
These riots continued until July 1st, 1969.
And ignited the modern gay liberation movement.
The movement that allows the community to live as openly as it does today.
The movement shone a light on people marginalised for their gender and sexuality around the world.
Made them feel seen.
Made them feel safe.
The first ever Gay Pride Parade took place on the 1-year anniversary of the Stonewall Riots.
To this day, Pride celebrations take place around the world on the 28th of June, the anniversary of the riots.
A week after the Pulse Massacre, the Stonewall Inn was declared a national monument, to acknowledge how far the country had come, but how far it still has to go.
The first national monument celebrating gay history.
The Stonewall Riots marked a pivotal moment in history.
No longer would people quietly endure the stigma associated with their sexual and gender orientations.
They would live loudly and unapologetically.
The Stonewall Inn remains open to this day, welcoming everyone and anyone.
Remaining a landmark of progression and gay liberation to this day.
In an interview during the riots, one of the patrons said,
"This isn't new. But it is only the beginning.
Means getting out and making the people realize that all these years they've been wrong about what they've been thinking about.
It was a celebration, you know, not so much a political thing. I'm not very political, but for me it was a celebration of just who I am and being with other gay people.
I don't know. All I know is I'm gay and I'm proud and I worked for it and I'll continue to work for it until the day I die. And I have no qualms about it. And if anybody wants to fight me about it, these may not be too big, but I got big shoes.
I don't know, it just means that I'm glad to be what I am, a lesbian.
I think it's important that we all came out today, and I'm glad that I came out today, even though it's going to be on film all over wherever it's going to be. Let him see. I'm out.